I just don't want children to see this, okay?
They're gonna see it.
I totally understand that you guys should be able to protest.
This isn't a protest. We're not protesting.
What are you doing then?
We are making people aware that this is what abortion really
well,
is.
A lot of people are really aware thanks to this picture.
And that's
It's really going to change a lot of minds.
That's the idea. That's the idea that.
Well, you know what? I think it's great that you guys are spending your time fighting for something you believe in, but I think this picture is not okay to show to people who cannot handle it.
This is legal, though. This is happening.
I'm not saying it should be legal or not legal. I'm just saying the photo is extremely disturbing.
Exactly why people need to see it, though.
Really?
Because people vote for this without ever looking at this or ever knowing what they're voting for. They
Right,
don't know what
okay.
the arguments are. They're not informed. This is
They
happening.
don't.
It's
They're not
legal.
informed.
Yeah, I mean, people would say that's just a
They're
clump of
pretty
cells or
informed.
that's part of a woman's body, but that's a unique human being created in the image of God.
All right. If you're going to bring the religion argument into this,
We
I don't
totally are, because God is the author of life. God is the author of life, and you don't have a right to say that anyone can take this away. You know?
So you can kill people with the death penalty. You can use the death penalty.
You're comparing a baby to a convicted murderer. That's what you're doing?
It's just a life, right? Aren't you saying that a life is a life?
We're saying that that's an innocent life who's done nothing wrong.
All right. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just going to stand here.
If you're not going to argue and you're just going to stand here, then I'm just going to do this.
All right. Well, I'll just wait for you to put it down.
Because we can stand here all night long. And if my arms get tired, someone else can hold it. But we're going to expose it.
All right.
This is what's going on. People need to know what they're voting for.
I just
This
think
hap-
it's really
I mean,
wrong to show this to children.
This is
Listen,
happening. It's more wrong for this
Does
to
it
be
mean that
happening.
you should show it to people who cannot handle it? I don't think
Are we
that's
supposed
fair.
to go? There's nowhere we could go where there would be no children to see it. You're basically saying we should go hide in our houses because children might see it. And
I'm
adults
not
might
saying
not.
you should go hide in your houses. I think
Okay.
this is an important argument. Fine, show your arguments. That's okay. But shock value?
This is real. This isn't shock value.
Just because something is real does not mean it is not shock value. And that is true.
So, the abolitionists of slavery would take the slaves out into the public square and they would take off their shirts and show all their scars from all the beatings
Yeah, I
and where
know.
they've been
I-
manacled.
History 101, I know how slavery works.
So would you have stood in front of them and said people can't see that? It's a terrible
No,
injustice
I
that
wasn't
needs to
alive
be
then,
exposed.
so-
Yeah, put yourself back there though. I mean, what you're saying is
Maybe I
that
would've. Maybe I would've said, hey,
injustice
we
should be
do
hidden.
this.
I mean, part of the reason slavery was abolished is because there were people brave enough to stand out and expose it. And it was a terrible injustice and it needed exposed. This is a terrible injustice. This is a human rights issue. And it's got to be exposed. People have to see and know what's really going on. This is a human being. It's 3,500 being killed every single day, and you want to hide it.
There are a lot of unnecessary lives on this planet. I firmly believe that.
So who gets to decide who's valuable and who's not?
There's no deciding factor.
There's not?
We're overpopulated.
Well, that's simply actually not true.
No,
But-
it's true.
but
Our
even-
race is going to be extinct.
Even if it were true, who gets to decide who lives and dies though? Even
If it's anyone, it should be the mother.
the mother should get to decide to kill her child? Like, what if your mom decided right now that the world is overpopulated and she said, listen, the world's overpopulated, my life is valuable, your life is not, daughter, I get to kill you. Is that okay?
I'd probably fight her for it.
But does
It
she
wouldn't be that easy.
does she get to make that decision though? These people have a mother who's making that
What's the
decision
difference?
and they
Do
don't
you
get to
believe in
fight back.
birth? I think this sign is great, whatever. I think that sign is not fair.
We're going to agree with you all day long. We agree that this sign isn't fair. You think we like standing out here holding this?
Yeah, I think you like it a lot.
We hate this.
If abortion stopped tomorrow,
We would
sign
go
be
away.
in the trash.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not gonna happen.
Well, they always
'Cause
said
listen, I
slavery
mean-
was never going to end.
I mean, the reality is there is a creator God of the universe, and we're created in his image.
That's the reality.
That's the reality.
I think that's your
And
reality.
It's the reality. Your agreement to it is irrelevant. There is a creator God of the universe, and he created all of us. He's the author of life, and we're created in his image. And so each one of us has value based on not our economic status or our superfluousness in our existence, but simply based on the fact that we're created in the image of God. He says that we're special.
An image, or why would he create us so imperfectly?
Who says that we were created imperfectly?
Why is there so much
God
bad-
created man and women in his image and said that it was very good.
All right, because some white dude wrote that in a book means it's true.
No white dude wrote it in the book. Moses wrote the Pentateuch, it was the first 5 books of the Bible, and he was not white.
All the
Ethnically Jewish.
All right.
So you think it's wrong to hold this sign?
If it didn't have that image on it, I don't know about morally wrong or not. I just don't think it's fair.
It's not fair in what way? Is it
It's
unfair
shock,
to you?
it's shock value.
Is it unfair?
It is shocking. I'll absolutely grant you that. It is shocking.
The unfairness we're concerned with is the unfairness of the children who are being killed.
Because it's not prepared to live on its own.
We think it's unfair to let people continue tolerating this
That's with
and ignoring it.
lots of medical intervention that a fetus can
And the reality is that it happens 3,500 times a day. And it happens behind closed doors where no one can see. And we use clever euphemisms like my body, my choice. It's just a clump of cells, just a parasite, just a, a body part. And these pictures allow us to say, that's not true. This is a unique individual, human being. An image bearer of God Almighty, creator of the universe. That's special. That's so special. And we hate that these images exist. We hate that we have to be standing out here. I mean, as much as we hate exposing it, we also have good news. That there's forgiveness. This is sin, and there's forgiveness. But you can be forgiven.
I don't need nobody needs anybody's forgiveness.
You don't need my forgiveness.
Nobody needs
You
God's
need God's forgiveness.
God does not exist.
He does exist.
He exists
We-
to you,
no,
and that's
we-
wonderful. But
It's
we-
absolute. You know that God exists, and His
Don't
law
tell
is
me
written
what I
on your
know.
heart. And I would argue that it's not that you don't know that He exists; it's that you hate Him.
I disagree with you.
I don't hate anyone. I don't hate you.
Oh, I do.
I don't hate anyone.
And we don't hate you either. I mean, that's why we're out here. Is because we love people.